we're going to be going over quarter turns. We're going to be talking about what quarter turns are. We're going to be talking about the front relaxed, the side relaxed poses, the back relaxed. So we'll start with what quarter turns are and what to expect when you're performing them. Quarter turns are normally first to be judged in a competition, so expect to perform these first. Quarter turns are usually where, after being performed, they will make the first call out and adjustments to the lineup of the actual competitors. This is your first impression to make on the judges, so make sure it is a good one. And you don't have just one set way of performing these moves. Everybody performs their quarter turns differently, so don't expect to be doing the same thing as everybody else, and don't expect everybody else to be 100% correct with theirs. There might be slight variations in positions as far as your feet go, as far as your upper body goes. These things need to be practiced. These things need to be really focused on an individual level to find out what works for your physique and what works for your structure better. The things that we go over in this video might not fit everybody, but these are things that I have learned through experience that have helped me personally. Expect to be moved around after the first round of quarter turns. After the quarter turns are performed, judges may move people around depending on who they see belongs in the middle, who belongs on the outside, or they may put two people next to each other to compare them better. Here are a few things that they're looking for when they're looking at the competitors performing their quarter turns. They're looking at overall proportion of the upper body to the lower body, of individual muscle groups. They're looking for symmetry. This is why they have you perform quarter turns, to display each side and each angle of the body. They're looking for proportion, they're looking for symmetry, they're looking for overall size and muscularity. It also helps to be confident when you're on stage performing the quarter turns. Most of the time, when you're facing one of the sides, when you're performing your side relaxed poses, you'll want to be looking straight ahead and not at the judges. So again, quarter turns are going to be the first thing that you're judged on in a competition, followed by the mandatory poses. So let's go ahead and break down each of the quarter turns to give you guys a better idea of what to expect.
We're going to start you out with quarter turns. We do quarter turn to your right. Quarter turn to your right.
Go number 49.
49.
Quarter turn to your right.
2.
Face the judges for another quarter turn.
The front relaxed pose is not very relaxed at all. You are using your quads, your lats, and your shoulders to create the X-frame appearance. Starting from the ground up, place your feet roughly 6 to 12 inches apart depending on your frame. You will angle your toes roughly 45 degrees and you will dig your heels into the ground. This will help contract and flex the quads. Once they are contracted and flexed, make sure to hold them for the duration of the pose. You will then perform a lat flare without touching your hips. You will spread your lats and create the illusion of a slim waist Your abdomen area must be kept tight but not flexed or contracted too hard, as this will pull your shoulders forward and take away from the broad appearance you're trying to create. The angle of your arms and shoulders will also help create the illusion of having a wide frame, so make sure to practice with various positions of your arms in order to help create that illusion based on your structure. Don't attempt to contract your pecs, as this will take away from the illusion of having broad shoulders. When performing the front relaxed pose, or any of the mandatories, I find it best to take your time, starting from the beginning, and thinking through every single movement that you make. Starting from the ground up, you plant your feet, you contract and flare your quads, and then you flare your lats to create the X-frame appearance. I find it best to take my time and consciously think about each movement as I make it. This helps me ensure that I'm performing each of these movements properly. Side relaxed poses are extremely difficult to master, and it's not necessarily clear what the judges are looking for. Certain judges will not allow you to twist at the waist. Other judges and other organizations may tell you that you have to keep your arms directly at your side and you cannot twist. This makes things extremely difficult as a competitor to know what to expect when you're going on stage. If you are up there twisting at the waist and you are told to move your arms directly at your side, it makes you very uncomfortable and it puts you in a pretty bad position as a competitor. I would first recommend to read the rules of the organization that you're competing in. Even then, sometimes it's unclear exactly what they will allow on stage, so I would assume to go up there and twist at the waist unless otherwise told not to. Now, when performing this quarter turn and side relaxed pose, you'll see many variations of this, and lots of people will have different opinions as to what works best. Many people will try to use the leg that is not facing the judges to push against the leg that is facing the judges in order to display the hamstrings better. This can sometimes lead to feeling and looking awkward on stage as you're trying to push against your own other leg while trying to get settled with your upper body as well. Most people do not take the time required to really think about each pose before they perform it. Therefore, they might look a little bit awkward. What I have found to personally look best on my physique is I will perform the quarter turn, I will be facing the side of the stage, and I will stand completely upright with my leg fully extended at the knee joint. I'm not having any bend or any angle in my knee joint at all. Having my legs fully extended helps me display my quads better, and it also makes me feel more comfortable when I'm adjusting my upper body. My feet are directly at the side of each other. One is not in front of the other at all. Now that my lower body is set, I twist at the waist and imagine a straight 180-degree line between my shoulder blades. This is used so that I do not mistakenly drop the shoulder that is facing the judges too low, as that will create a crunch down appearance that will ruin the illusion that I'm going for. And this brings us to our abdominal area. Many people will notice that the abdominal area is not fully contracted. If your abdominal area, as well as your serratus anterior, is well enough defined, it might benefit you to put a little bit more pressure on flexing and contracting that area that is facing the judges. I find personally for myself that my abdominal area is never as shredded or lean as it needs to be. Therefore, I stay upright and erect and I suck in the stomach instead of contracting the abs. Again, one way is not necessarily better than the other. It just comes down to not only personal preference, but also your personal structure. Now, moving back to the upper body, the arm that is not facing the judges is coming across the front of the body and is used to contract the pec that is also furthest away from the judges. The position of the arm that is facing the judges is going to be determined by a couple factors. Not only personal preference, but also the overall development of that arm, as well as the overall development of your lower half. If you angle it too much, it might get in the way of your glute if you have well-developed glutes. So starting from the ground up, your feet are side by side, your knee joint is fully extended, and that will help display your quads. Again, you will twist at the torso, assuming that the judges have not said otherwise. The arm that is not facing the judges will come across the midsection of the body and help contract the pec, while the other arm will be angled according to how your structure and body permits. The side relaxed poses are definitely one of the most difficult to perfect, and they might require more practice than some of the other poses you will be performing. Again, I need to stress, you need to practice these poses in the mirror and find what works best for your body. Make sure to practice both sides for your side relaxed poses, as these are both equally important to the judges, and you would want to do your best to display a symmetrical and well-proportioned physique on both of the side relaxed poses.
Quarter turn to your right.
The back relaxed pose is very similar to the front relaxed pose in that you're still angling your feet in roughly the same position, as well as flaring your lats in roughly the same way. Again, you begin by placing and angling your feet in just the proper position for your structure. You dig your heels into the ground and flare the quads. The quads can be seen from the back, although they are a muscle group that is predominantly in the front of the leg. When performing this pose, make sure to put emphasis on the hamstrings as well as the glutes, as now your back is turned to the judges and those will be taken into consideration. Use this as an opportunity to breathe more freely, as your abs are not being displayed and you can breathe a little bit more comfortably. Make sure you are flaring your lats but not leaning back too far, as this will create a shadow that takes away from the definition of your lower back. Be sure not to squeeze your shoulder blades together and contract your upper trap fibers. If you are doing this, you will be unable to flare your lats properly, and your appearance will not be nearly as wide. Okay, so let's go ahead and finish up by talking about a couple of the key points that we went over in the video. Number one, I have to stress that you practice these moves. Everything you do, transitions between one pose to the next, your confidence, the way you display yourself, all the movements you make sure they're all well thought out, and you put a lot of time into practicing, not only in front of a mirror, but also without the mirror. That way you can double check to see and make sure if you're holding the poses in just the right way. We also talked about how important your midsection is and how you have to manipulate it in certain ways that will best suit your body. This is going to go back to practicing every single move that you do, making sure that you adjust with slight variations according to what kind of body, what kind of physique you have, and the look you're going for. Feel free to try new things. Okay, I must stress that. Okay, try new things, see what works best for you. There is not one set way to do these poses. All right, so don't feel like you have to do it one certain way. All right, the way we talked about in the video might suit you, it also might not suit you. All right, so feel free to try new things and step outside of your boundaries. Maybe ask other bodybuilders for advice, people who have competed before, and see what they say worked for them, because everybody tries something different. Everybody has something different that works for them, and you need to practice. You need to really explore what's going to work best for your body. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I definitely enjoyed making the video. I enjoyed all the aspects that went into it, recording all the video for you, including all the segments, all the photos. This is something I really enjoy doing. I hope I'm able to portray that image across to you guys who are watching this. Make sure you guys practice again. I'll say it one more time. All right, because really a lot of times people will say good luck when you go into a competition. I personally don't believe luck has much to do with it. I believe that the hard work that you put in right now is gonna pay off in the long run. So keep it up, guys.